Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
how are you?
I'm good. My voice is just coming
Yeah.
back, which is why I think it's a good topic to talk about my favorite supplements.
Yes.
So,
Let's talk about your medicine cabinet.
yeah,
All of your
yeah,
botanicals.
man, I have so many, and my house is under construction, and we're working on my pantry so
Yeah.
that I can like really have a space for the number of like botanicals and supplements and herbs that I have at my disposal. But there are some like really, I think baseline, basic things that I think anybody should have in their medicine cabinet. But I also get asked a lot about what supplements I should take or not take. So if you have Hello, Liberty. If you have questions about supplements, put them out there because, it's a topic that I love to talk about. Um, so let's, you know, first of all, I think the most important thing to kind of cover is um, supplement quality, or you think we should just talk about supplements?
I think that's a good place to start. I
Yeah.
think a lot of people they think supplements. They hear supplements. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna go grab this off the shelf without the that all supplements are not created equal. So I think that it's a very important topic because of how harmful it can be, or how much you can waste your money.
And that's so important because
Yeah.
so here's the thing about supplements. Unlike prescription medications, they're not regulated by any like governing body. So you don't always know that. I mean, I can create a supplement today and I can sell it to you, and it doesn't have to have anything that I say it has in it. It doesn't there, and it doesn't have to even really be safe. Only if somebody gets hurt will anybody even know if it has like a problem in it, or like a problem ingredient in it. And so supplement quality is super important. And I know that there have been many studies where people have done like third party testing for like supplements, like let's just say you go to General Dollar or something like that and you get fish oil. And then it doesn't have fish oil in it, right? It has like, sesame seed oil or something else in it. Or they've tested a supplement to see if it had the right amount, right? So a supplement, let's say you're going to take vitamin B, and it says it has so many milligrams in it. There's no guarantee it actually has that number of milligrams in it. And so supplement quality is super important for me as a doctor because I need to know what people are taking. And I also need to know if I'm prescribing a supplement that it's, for a particular purpose, that it's actually going to have an effect because it's the right dose, it comes from the right part of the plant, or it doesn't have toxic ingredients in it. And I see so many people with like so many different supplements. Even my sister was cleaning out her supplement medicine cabinet today, and she has so many things in there. And I'm not saying that all of them are bad. I'm just saying, do you know if they're good? You know what I mean? Like, how do you know? And how do you know who to trust when it comes to like choosing supplements? So I'm really, really particular about supplement quality. And so the only way that you can um, really know that is to really have it be prescribed by somebody that you actually trust, who's actually looking at the data, who has access to some of the databases that have evaluated some of these supplements. Talk to people who've actually gone to some of the supplement companies and seen their facilities and know their quality measures. So I think that's super, super important. I don't care what supplement you're on, whether it's a prenatal, Crystal was asking, or if it's a regular multivitamin, or if it's, you know, whatever it is. I think it's really important that you choose professional grade or that you work with someone who's knowledgeable in identifying the quality. So that's all I'm going to say on that because I know I can be long-winded.
Uh, okay, I won't like go deeper. So now that you kind of like address that part, then I guess would you want to go into like best places to get these supplements from? like if somebody today is like, okay, great, I'm going to be more aware of the supplement quality that I'm getting. Where do I start? Do I go to Amazon? Do I go to Walmart?
Right.
Do I go to GNC? What's the best place for me to go?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and there's not an easy answer to that because really it's the brand of supplement that you're looking at and the company that makes the supplement, and they can be distributed from anywhere, right? Like so, you might have a really good brand. So I think Nature's Way is actually a pretty um, I don't use Nature's Way though. I use professional grade supplements. And the reason I use professional grade is because um, I've talked to many of the companies that make the supplements. And so if you want to access professional grade supplements, then you would go to a distributor, either like a physician's office or a herbalist or a naturopath. Um, and if you're interested in ordering supplements, you can go through my online store, which is called FullScripts. And FullScripts is just a dispensary for supplements, professional grade supplements. So in my bio, you can always go to FullScripts and become a member and decide to order supplements through there. And even through FullScripts, I don't recommend all of those supplements. Not that many, I'm sure more than I would recommend are good, but I only choose to recommend ones that I know from either experience or from just my knowledge based on supplements of being good quality. So I really try to distill it down to like my favorite companies. And then I just sort of prescribe from those companies. And if there's another supplement that I particularly like, then I will like dibble dabble out. So in FullScripts, if you decided to look at that and just sort of use it as a baseline, even if you don't order through FullScripts, you can look at some of the companies that I like. And you can look at, you know, what supplements are in which categories, because I have them broken down into separate categories so that you can just kind of peruse and say, okay, I need something for, I want to address Crystal's question. I think it was Crystal, yeah, about prenatals. And you can see, you know, what's under there for women's health. But and there's some really good prenatals out there. I tend to use a company called Metagenics for prenatals. Um, that's the one that's coming to mind. But there are a couple of others that I've used in the past that are actually really good. I think Pure Encapsulations is also another one that has a good prenatal.
And then to clarify, becoming a member of FullScripts, that's free, right? That's
Yeah,
not
it's free.
signing up. Okay. Okay, and then you're able to like look at the dispensary and look at all of her favorite products and like she was saying how they're broken down by category. Okay, so now to the fun stuff.
What are my favorite supplements?
Yes, so let's talk about this like in a twofold way. So I know that there are those staple supplements that you know, everybody should be taking, right? Just daily basis type thing for maintenance. So let's talk about those recommendations and then let's also talk about immune support. What are your staples when it comes to that?
Okay, great. So that's a great way to break it down. And of note, I don't know where this is, Chatila, but there's a handout for people who are interested of my favorite supplements. So the basic supplements that everyone should be on should be a multivitamin. And looking at a multivitamin, you want to look for something that has ideally methylated B vitamins and also has a good quality vitamin D, has magnesium. A, C, and E tend to be in all multivitamins, but you want to make sure that I always say look for one that if you're looking at your B vitamins, particularly B12 and B9, that they say methyl instead of cyano. And so that's sort of one of the things that I use to judge whether or not I like that multivitamin or not. And then also just looking at all the other ingredients, like the fillers that they use. So the ones that I tend to like, and there's so many good multivitamins out there, but like I mentioned, the company Metagenics, Pure Encapsulations. Um, One of my favorite is Quicksilver. It's a liposomal form of a vitamin, so you really want to think about how you're getting these absorbed into your system. So that's also a good one. Vitamin D is my other one. So it's vitamin D with K2, vitamin K2. You want to take those together. Um, often people think of vitamin D as something that's really great for bone health, but really it's good for a lot of things, including your immune health, um, even cancer prevention. So vitamin D, having good vitamin D levels is really important, and you can actually test your vitamin D levels. So if you are less than 30, if your levels are less than 30, you want to make sure that you get those higher. And so many people are deficient. So vitamin D is another really important one. Fish oil is another great staple. And so fish oil actually is really important to get high quality because it's very easily tainted by things like heavy metals like mercury. It also can go rancid pretty easily. So you also want to make sure that you're getting something that's made from a company that sources their fish oil from a good source that's not toxic. And I'm forgetting, my favorite one is magnesium. So magnesium glycinate or L-threonate are really great for just magnesium support for relaxation, for sleep. But then magnesium citrate is great for constipation. So magnesium is my other staple. So I usually talk about those four staples: a multivitamin, fish oil, vitamin D, magnesium. And then I'll talk about immune support, which comes up because I am getting over a cold. And there are a couple of things that I really, really love. So if you're taking all of your like staple multivitamin, fish oil, vitamin D, magnesium sort of on a daily basis, then you can start looking at adding things if you feel like, during the winter months, you might want to add echinacea, zinc, elderberry. A lot of people do that. Again, making sure you get high quality. But when you get sick, there are a couple of things that I recommend. There is one particular supplement that I really love by a company called Gaia Herbs. And I can't remember what the commercial brand of it is called, but the professional brand, which you can get on Fullscripts, is called Immune Activator. And this is a really great supplement. It's echinacea, elderberry, astragalus, a ton of great supplements that help with boost your immune system. And it actually helps to prevent. So if you feel like at the first you feel when your throat gets scratchy, that's when you want to take it. First, like couple of hours when you first start to notice symptoms. So this is why I always tell people about this supplement so that they can have it on hand, because it's hard to get. You can order it, but it's going to take you some time to get it, or you have to find a great place to get it. I think that Savananda in Atlanta has it. That's the only place I've seen it, but I'm sure there are other places. So if anybody knows where they can get that one, you can always just leave that in the chat. But I just say have it on hand so that the first sign of a symptom, that's when you start to take it. But the other great thing about it is it also like is symptom relief. So if you're feeling really tired and exhausted from whatever illness you're experiencing, it's the only thing I found that actually makes me feel better for a short period of time. I have to take it several times a day, and most botanicals are like that, or a lot of botanicals are like that. Top of that, just increasing your vitamin D if you're sick, increasing your vitamin C. Zinc lozenges are also really great for immune boosting. Reishi mushroom. So reishi is an adaptogen, and I love adaptogens. So that's just another thing that's just great for generalized immune health. So without wanting to overwhelm everyone, I think that's a handful of things to start with. Um, any any questions about that, Chatila?
No, but I know you mentioned, I don't know if it's posted anywhere, but if anyone on here wants that worksheet with like the medicine cabinet breakdown that you have, just reach out to me and I will get it to you. Well, I do have a question. So would you say that the form of the supplement that you get matters? Like whether it's drops or a pill, or does that matter at all?
Yeah, it just depends on what the supplement is, right? So, so you can be pretty flexible. Again, if you know that the company that's made this supplement knows what they're doing, right? So, for example, let's take something like curcumin. Curcumin is a supplement that a lot of people use for anti-inflammation. So like you have joint pain or something like that, use curcumin. Well, curcumin is actually quite unstable, and and if it's not stored in the right way, if it's not cared for in the right way, if then it can just not have very good potency. It also can, if it's not mixed with the right ingredients, then it won't get absorbed into the system. So for something like curcumin, a liposomal form made particularly by a company called Quicksilver that I like, is a great source of curcumin, because you're going to get higher doses in your body. You're going to absorb it, and it's a liquid form, right? So it's liposomal, which makes it, which basically means it's liquid and it gets absorbed into your you put it under your tongue, and your body will absorb it. And then you swallow it, and then your body absorbs it that way as well. But so as that is an example, that is one that I feel like, particularly if you need higher levels, you've got cancer, you've got known inflammation, you've got rheumatoid arthritis or autoimmune condition, you've got gut dysbiosis, and you know that you need higher levels, you want to absolutely take it in like a liposomal form. Another one would be like glutathione. So it just depends. This is why having somebody who knows about supplements is really important, because there's a lot of variables to consider. But then let's take another one like fish oil. So fish oil can be taken in a capsule, or it can take it as a liquid. It can be taken as a triglyceride, which is also just another liquid form. But here's the thing about fish oil. I tend to like fish oil as a liquid, because oftentimes to get the doses that you need of fish oil, depending on what you're using it for, you need higher doses so that you're not ending up taking a ton of pills, right? So then I would choose a liquid form. So sometimes just the form that you choose has to do with, ease of use. How do you incorporate it into your day? I always talk about this when I think about my adaptogens. I like to use my adaptogens in teas so that I don't have to keep taking so many pills. But yeah, so, there are a lot of things that will determine what form you take it in. But it also, there's so many supplements. It depends from one supplement to another. There are also supplements that just aren't good in certain forms. I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head. I can't think of one right now, but it's just really important to know which supplements are not going to be well in like a capsule form. Because if you buy it in a capsule form, you're probably just wasting your money. Or which ones are unstable and need to be refrigerated, right? So here's an example. So like probiotics, there are certain probiotics that absolutely need to be refrigerated, right? And so if you have one that's shelf stable, oftentimes, I mean, there really has to be some interesting science that doesn't require it to need refrigeration. But I use a form that isn't refrigerated. It's a spore-based, right? So it's a spore-based probiotic that actually doesn't need refrigeration. So again, there's so many variables that go into that.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. It actually it makes me think, like I was at Burlington one time and I saw this like thing of probiotics, and it was just kind of thrown. You know how they just have a mosh pit of stuff
Mm-hmm.
sometimes? And it was thrown next to like this block of cheese for like $2.99, and I'm like, oh my god, like people are really buying this and really feeling like I'm doing something, I'm taking my probiotics, but it's probably like whatever was in there, if it was ever there, it's probably dead.
Yeah.
You know, you're really just wasting your money, even if it was like $3. Okay, so are there any nuances when it comes to kids and supplements for kids and what they should be
Okay.
taking, like immune support for kids?
Oh,
Especially
so
for like mucus, because I have found that to be like the trickiest thing to try to like combat with my boys is the mucus. I found that recently steaming helps, but that's been like the trickiest thing for me.
so so mucus is interesting
Mm-hmm.
because this is that I'm happy you brought it up, and I'm happy you brought it up the way that you brought it up, because there are some things that supplements aren't the answer for, right? And there are scenarios. For example, quercetin is a supplement that's really great. It's also hallucinogenic, so it like helps to reduce mucus. So is a great supplement along with bromelain. They go together, or they should be used together. And N-acetylcysteine, really. It's not quercetin, that's the mucolinic. It's the N-acetylcysteine. That's what I wanted to say. So N-acetylcysteine is actually good for mucus. But when people come with mucus, and let's say we give you something like a supplement, that's just similar to like conventional medicine. Here's your Band-Aid, right? What we're looking for is root cause. And so when somebody has a lot of mucus happening, you want to ask yourself, like, what's driving that mucus? And one of the most important things that I see drives mucus is going to be dairy. And I know your kids don't eat dairy, but dairy is just, it is one of those foods that is just so inflammatory. And then there might be other foods that your kids are sensitive to that somebody else's kids wouldn't be sensitive to, but it's causing mucus in them because they're developing an immune response to it. So sometimes just doing an elimination diet, trying to figure out what's, happening in their little bodies that may be different than yours, right? So I always recommend first before supplements. I mean, not necessarily before. You can use supplements as like a bridge, like using the N-acetylcysteine as a bridge until you can figure out what the cause is. The other thing that I think about is environmental toxins, or even environmental toxins or allergens. So environmental toxins being things like additives in food, or chemicals that we use in our household. I mean, it seems like they could be unrelated, but once they get into your system, they cause an immune response. And where does mucus actually? Mucus is a form of immune defense. So if your body is reacting, having an allergic reaction to a chemical that you're using, and like an aerosol spray, or like a soap you're using, or a food that you're eating and that has an additive in it, and your body's producing mucus to help get that out of your system, and then you're going to continue to have mucus. But yeah, so, and then the other one I was saying was allergens, like environmental allergens. So like pollen and, birch or grasses and things of that nature. Again, for that, there's a really great supplement that I like, which is called Dehist. It has the quercetin, it has the bromelain, N-acetylcysteine. There's one other ingredient in it I can't remember, but that's really great for allergies. And if you have a lot of mucus, then that's the one I would choose. And that's by a company called Orthomolecular, and they actually have a kids dosing. So that's another thing I would say about kids, is that I'm not a kid doctor. I have kids of my own, so I experiment on them all the time. But what I try to do is I try to stick with companies that make products for kids. So products that I trust, companies that I trust, that also make kid products. Orthomolecular is one of them. Nordic Naturals is one that you can find like at any grocery store, and they make products for kids. But yes, but that particular one, since you brought up mucus, I think might be a good one to try. And then also maybe, then the other thing I was going to think about for mucus is also gut health, right? So your oral cavity all the way down to your anus is all one big organ. It's your intestinal system. And even up into your nasal cavity, these are all connected. You think about the mouth and the nose are connected, right? So if you're producing a lot of mucus, you have to think what's going on in the gut, everything from here to down there, right? So I'm not just talking about your stomach, right? Or just your intestines. I'm talking about the whole thing, esophagus, your mouth, your nose, all of it. So from that perspective, then a gut healing protocol for the kids might be really useful. So probiotic, prebiotic, and then immunoglobulin is something I use for gut healing, as well as fish oil. And the company I like for that is Megaspore. They have a nice product, and a lot of their products are powders, so you can adjust down the dose for kids.
Okay. And I'm glad that you said it, because I never thought about it in terms of essentially the mucus could be like laying dormant. Like this isn't something that's kind of just flaring up with the sickness. It's kind of been there and it's being like agitated by the sickness.
Well, okay, so the term laying dormant doesn't quite resonate with me and what I was trying to say, as much as it is that your body's immune system is
Mm-hmm.
the one that's laying dormant, right? So
Uh-huh.
if I were to put it anyway, your immune system is hypersensitive. And
Mm-hmm.
so when it comes in contact with anything that causes inflammation, then its choice of defense is mucus, right? Other
Okay.
people, like, so different people have, we all respond differently. That's what like personalized functional medicine is about.
Mm-hmm.
It's this idea that I may be exposed to, let's say, pollen, and I'm going to respond with itchy eyes, and you're going to respond with a runny nose, and somebody else is going to respond with, scratchy throat. We all are going to respond differently. And for your kids, may be that their response is just producing a ton of mucus. Um, but then it just always makes me think, okay, what's triggering the mucus, right? So what's triggering the immune response? That is hypersensitive. Um, and typically with immunity, the first place I start is the gut. So that's why I'm saying you do gut healing, and you can use supplements to support that, along, and a part of like the gut healing process is also thinking about the foods and the toxins and the all the other things that they're being exposed to. So you want to look around your house. Is there mold in your house, right? Are there products that you're using that they could be hypersensitive to, which is why they keep getting flared up? So their bodies are just responding to the environment around them. Their bodies aren't just producing mucus for the sake of it.
Mm-hmm.
Something's triggering it, right?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And it really, like, I really have to, like, think about it and do a deep dive. And it, like you said, might be a gut thing. And I know I think the Megaspore, I really want to do that with them.
Yeah.
But you said there's, like, a kit.
Yeah.
There's, like, a whole protocol. I really want to do that for them because I know they've been doing since babies.
Yeah.
Like, this has been, like, a thing. Like, they would get sick and I couldn't give them milk because the mucus was so bad. So it might be more of a gut thing. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah, it absolutely sounds. I mean,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. Everything is a gut thing. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Start with the gut,
Uh-huh.
but particularly things like allergies, autoimmune issues.
Mm-hmm.
If your gut's not right, even if healing the gut doesn't like resolve all your symptoms right away, it's the first step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you do that first, and then you go on to the next thing. Because
Yeah.
and one of the reasons is it's like, okay, so if you take supplements and your gut's messed up, you may not be absorbing those supplements, not because the supplements aren't good,
Mm-hmm.
it's because your gut's not right. If you are eating a really healthy diet but your gut's messed up, and so your body's not absorbing, it's not breaking down the food the way it needs to, it's not absorbing the minerals it needs to, so now you're nutrient deficient, right? So it doesn't matter how many good nutrients I give you if your gut's not right. So start with the gut, then move on to the food, then move on to the supplements.
Yeah. I don't know where I heard it before, but someone was like, America has the most expensive poop ever. Because to your point, like if your body can't break down these supplements, if they are, say they are the highest quality that you can get, if your body can't break them down, then you're just gonna they're gonna come out. They're not gonna do anything for you. So
And I think it's just important to know that supplements are supplementing. They have to supplement something. So that it means that you're doing your lifestyle stuff and then you're supplementing. Because I remember I was just talking to a supplement company and I was saying, hey, I tried this product. She was like saying it was such a great product. And I was like, I tried it, but for me, it didn't do anything. And she had made a point that I actually thought was a pretty good one. It's like, listen, if you didn't need it, right? She was saying, just to give context, she was saying that this supplement in a patient who had had like a stroke, and had some neurological issues had really improved his symptoms. And I was like, well, I took it for like my ADD and it didn't do much of anything. And she's like, well, I mean, you didn't need it, right? So oftentimes one of the reasons we have the most expensive poop is that people are taking stuff they don't need. And that's why, like, even in my program, when people start, I'm like, please, let's stop all the supplements, right? Because the first thing we want to do is see what you actually need, and then we go from there, right? Um, so yeah.
I think this was helpful for me.
Well, that's that I hope it's helpful for. I need it to be helpful for one person.
Yeah, well, that one person today. If it was me, then it was helpful for me. And I know we can, do a whole deep dive too into like the herbal aspect and your love for that and the adaptogens and all that. But maybe
We'll
save
do
that
that another. We'll do that another day
next
when my pantry is done and I can like actually put these things on display.
yeah.
Like I can't even show you guys all my.
Because I want to come down and just like,
Oh, we're gonna
and
we're gonna have a good time. We're totally gonna have a good time.
we can do a live from
My
your
new
from
and improved pantry. If y'all could see it now, you guys would be like, "That's never gonna happen." But I'm gonna stay faithful and positive.
yeah. Okay, well, again, if anyone wants information for that medicine cabinet list, let me know and I will send it to you. If you're interested in looking at just perusing this list of like medical grade supplements for free, it's just sign up. Go to the link in Dr. People's bio for full scripts. You can look in there, and if there's something that you like, then you can order it from there instead of maybe Amazon or something. Get it from
Oh,
Walmart. Then
you didn't mention that. You don't want to order from Amazon.
Yeah.
But well, that's another story for another day. But yes. All right, lovely.
All
I'll see you.
right. Get to feeling much better.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.